Can you buy a house without using a traditional bank loan? Yes, you can. Again, I keep going back to, you know, a seller financing arrangement. What you're going to find, okay, a lot of the properties that were foreclosed on following 2007, 2008, and then the housing crisis that basically started in those 2 years, what you found is there's a huge inventory of properties in foreclosure status. And you had a lot of investors come along and buy those properties because they were able to buy them for pennies on the dollar, essentially. And instead of buying those properties to flip them, many investors bought those properties with the intention of holding them so that they could either rent them, or that they could lease option them, or they could sell or finance them to buyers just like yourselves who had difficulty or currently having difficulty getting financing from a conventional bank. So it could be as simple as locating an investor who has an inventory of properties that is willing to hold those properties and sell them back to you, seller financing. The drawbacks are you're typically going to pay more money in interest, and there probably is going to be some balloon payment that's going to come due on that. And typically that's when that investor is going to call that loan and expect you to refinance them out based on whatever your balance is left against the payments you've made thus far.
In other words, yes. In other words, what's going to happen in a situation like this is you're going to be in the process of straightening out your credit for the next 2 or 3 years until you can accelerate the payoff of that loan by getting an FHA loan or a VA loan or a traditional bank loan, by cleaning up your credit in the process and locking in, you know, basically today's values. And is that part of the key to this? Getting in now?
Right.
What's going on with property values in Florida right now?
Well, see, right now, if you're having trouble getting financing, you still really should be motivated to get into owning property. And the reason for that is the appreciation of property. You know, if you look at the market of real estate and you look at it as a clock, then basically you've got the 12 o'clock hour, where is basically the top of the market, where housing values have basically capped out. You know, there's really no more room for appreciation. So now if you're buying property, at that point you're buying property at the peak of the market. The next phase is going to be the decline. Well, just to fast forward through this conversation a little, right now we're at the bottom of the market, which means we're somewhere around the 7 o'clock hour, and now we're on the upswing. You know, our market is growing, properties are appreciating. So if you have any opportunity at all of getting into either a lease option or a seller deal where you're going to have to come up with a little more money, you're going to potentially pay higher interest rates, it's a great advantage for you because the property values are still going up, and you're going to be able to take advantage of equity because you're going to put yourself in a good position, because really property values are on the rise, so you have this great opportunity to put yourself in the driver's seat. Even if you need a few years to straighten out your credit, it gives you an incentive to figure out ways to do that faster.
Do you help them clean up their credit, Luke, or do you have folks to do that with you?
Absolutely, because you know what you're going to find is I'm working with several mortgage brokers, and you know their incentive is to get you mortgages. So it's to find ways to get you approved for lending, and if they don't do that for you, then they don't get paid. It's just like me. As a real, if I don't find you property, then I don't earn a commission, and I don't get paid either, right? So everybody has an incentive somewhere built into the programs of what we're putting together. You know, if you go to www.renttoown.lukegross.com, you know, there's more information in that website about what I'm talking about here with you, Steve. But yes, you know, I'm working with mortgage brokers that are very versed in credit repair, and they really will work closely with me as I work with both clients to figure out ways to get them bankable as fast as humanly possible.